meeting budget validation meeting. Second.
All right, any notes on that we want to correct or anything? Seeing none, all in favor? All right. Nobody opposed? Excellent. All right, let's go into recognition.
So, it's behemoth. I'm not sure how we want to do this.
There are too many people to recognize.
Which I think is a good thing.
There's never too
Let me bring it up to.
I'm looking at it as well. Ooh, there is a lot. Holy smokes.
There
Okay.
is, but do you want to take turns?
Yeah, we'll split it up. You can go first and then I'll go next.
This is great. Okay. High School National Honor Society induction. The 2024 National Honor Society induction ceremony was held earlier this month. Students who distinguish themselves in scholarship, leadership, character, and service are selected for induction. 2024 inductees are Piper Obi, Leiden Chikes-Lazard, Trevor Griffin, Nolan Larrivee, Ava Shadarsky, Evelyn Bowden, Michaela Gill, Hope Handley, Jackson Libby, Charlotte Testa, Emily Carroll, Gracie Gillen, Madeline Humphrey, Cole Willett, Brianna Waterman, Carter Davis, Hannah Gordon, Ella Kinney, and Aiden Plummer.
Similarly, the Junior National Honor Society induction was held earlier this month for middle school students who distinguished themselves in scholarship, leadership, character, and service. The 2024 inductees are Connor Ames, Weston Ciccone, Balin Langlois, I hope he says it that way, Gage Rue, Donovan Brown, Charlotte Froelich, James Lucia, Trevor St. Clair, Janetta Buhelt, Bryn Gilmore, Owen Mitchell, Freeman Campbell, Hudson Handley, which is a great name, and Eve Rickard.
Portland Arts and Technology High School, students of the quarter, automotive technology, Harry Benke, careers in education, Megan Torok, carpentry, Jaden Brown, HVAC and plumbing, Bronson Obi, and horticulture, Clarissa Williams.
All right, very exciting. This past month, the U.S. Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona, announced the 2024 U.S. Presidential Scholars, which recognizes just 161 high school seniors in the entire country for their academic accomplishments in the arts and career and technical education fields. And there are two main scholars. One of them is Isaac Kahn from Kennebunk High School. I'm sure he's a very nice person. And Kylie J. Thibodeau of our own Gray New Gloucester High School here in Gray, Maine. That is a really tremendous accomplishment by Kylie. Congratulations to her. We heard she's going to Columbia University.
Ford Tech Challenge is a competition where students demonstrate their skill in automotive technology, sponsored by the Ford Motor Corporation. G&G students Will Cutler and Harrison Benke took first place in the Ford Tech Challenge at Central Maine Community College in a statewide competition. Both students received a professional grade mechanic toolbox and scholarships to Central Maine Community College that will cover books and housing. In recognition of the Joe and Harry's first place win, Darling Ford of Bangor has donated a 2023 Ford Mustang GT 5.0 to the PAS program.
Wow. Nice.
Super cool.
I'm sure
I
they'll
know.
enjoy that.
Yeah, that's amazing. So we have a Skills USA Maine Championship, and Nolan Sweat placed first in the automotive maintenance and light repair competition. He will now compete at the Skills USA 59th Annual National Leadership and Skills Conference in Atlanta, Georgia in mid-June. The conference is the nation's largest showcase of skilled trades with career and technical education as a centerpiece. That's cool.
Yeah. So I spoke to Harry and Nolan, and at the summer board meeting, they will be coming to talk to you about their accomplishments and what they did and have a mini slideshow.
Cool.
Seal of Biliteracy is an award by the Maine Department of Education that recognizes student achievement in language learning. Students who are proficient in English and an additional language may earn this credential by demonstrating their skill on an approved assessment. This award becomes part of the student's transcript and gives students an edge for their post-secondary studies and/or future careers. Students awarded the Seal of Biliteracy this spring are Malia Lewis in French, Uma Benin Al-Fehi Arabic, Hannah Miller German, Andrew Kenny Spanish, Emily Wilson Spanish, Kylie Thibodeau Spanish, Olivia Knudsen Spanish, Kata Roman Hungarian, Olga Filatova Russian, Haley Vandell Spanish and Korean, Caitlin Sweeney Spanish, Ellie Steele Spanish, Christine O'Donnell Spanish, and Kara Martinez Spanish.
That's fantastic. Okay, and last but not least, we can tell you about the University of Maine Considering Engineering program. This is a challenging and rewarding 4-day overnight summer program for high school juniors to get a taste of college life and what it takes to be an engineer. Students have to apply for admission to this competitive program, which is open to students from Maine and across the United States. Students live on campus and work directly with university engineering professors and employers like Bath Iron Works, Chenbro, and other industry engineers. Students engage in engineering experiments and problem-solving challenges and network with professors, professional engineers, and fellow students. High school junior Cameron Mead, wow, has been selected for admission to this free program and will attend in late July. Scholarships to attend the University of Maine College of Engineering are routinely offered to these students and offer upon high school graduation. Congratulations, Lauren, you must have done something right. Fantastic. That's really, what a great thing that we get to recognize all these kids.
We have another big list next week.
I bet we have another big list next week. That's just really fantastic.
The Arts Night cheering sounds like it's for all of the.
I know, I really like it.
It's very well
It's
done.
great. Yeah. Very smart. Okay, we don't have any old business. We will tack some old business at our meeting on Monday. But we do want to get some teachers hired, so we do have some new business. Can I get a first and second, and then we'll do introductions and discussion, and then vote after that?
All right. I move we appoint David Southwick to a first probationary contract as an art teacher at the middle school. Second.
Is anybody introducing David?
I will introduce David,
Okay.
who is not here. For middle school art, David Southwick holds a Bachelor of Fine Arts from the School of Visual Arts and a Master of Fine Arts from the University of Pennsylvania. He has spent the last 2 years teaching at the American School of Bahrain. He's teaching there right now, that's why he's not here this evening. And 8 years as an art teacher at Lake Region Middle School. He also has extensive experience as an art teacher at the Community College of Vermont.
Yeah, I was on the interview committee for David, and we are psyched to get this guy. He loves middle schoolers. He's a talented artist who still shows in galleries and just offers a ton of global experience for our kids. So I was so psyched that.
He's teaching abroad right now.
Yeah, he's in Bahrain, and so I think the Bahrain experience was great for 2 years, and now they would like to come back to me. Was the vibe I was getting. But super to have him. So any other discussion on him? All in favor? Great. Okay. Next up is Miriam Ahmed.
Yes. For high school.
Wait. We gotta do the nominations.
Oh, sorry.
I move we appoint Miriam Mohammed to a first probationary contract as a special education teacher at the high school.
Second. All right, go ahead.
High school special education, Miriam Ahmed holds a Bachelor of Arts in History and Psychology from the University of South Africa in Pretoria. She's finishing her final courses for the MED in Special Education at Southern New Hampshire University. She has been an Ed Tech 3 here at the high school and has had extensive experience as a tutor and substitute teacher.
Excellent. Any questions or thoughts on that? All in favor? Fantastic.
I move we appoint Sarah Dennison to a first probationary contract as a three-quarter teacher at Dunn School, 1 year only.
I'm guessing that is a
Three-quarter
teacher.
time.
I think it's grades 3 and 4.
Sorry, we look at so many of the
They could have been
partials.
3/4, but I think in this case it's grades
No,
3
I'm
and 4.
gonna start over. I move we appoint, I was gonna say, why do we get a three-quarter, Josh?
Ducks out early on Thursday.
Sarah Dennison to a first probationary contract as a third and fourth grade teacher at the Dunn School for 1 year only.
Second.
Sarah? Understand? Let's see, Sarah Dennison holds a Bachelor of Arts in English Literature from Wheaton College. She is completing her final courses for the MED in Elementary Education at the University of Southern Maine. Ms. Dennison has completed a full year as a resident teaching intern at Biddeford Intermediate School in the 3rd grade. She spent 2 summers as an LLB camp counselor. She has also served as an ed tech at Yarmouth Elementary School and Charlotte Central School in Vermont.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being here. You certainly don't look like only 3/4 of a person. Okay, that's terrific. All right. Any other thoughts or concerns?
You can sit down. Just we can put a face with a name for it.
All in favor? Great. And we do appreciate you coming. It always makes us feel great to hire you. So congratulations.
Can I make a comment?
You can.
So I read 400 of these things every year, and I got to Sarah's, and I had to read it a second time because it was so familiar. Former student, Mount Ararat class of
2007?
2007. So I can't believe I remembered 2007, but she was a wonderful student, and I'm happy that she is here.
Great. Fantastic.
And it is for 3rd and 4th grade for your quarter.
Excellent. All right, last up is Jordan.
I move we appoint Jordan Colbert to a first probationary contract as a grade 1 teacher at Memorial School.
Second.
Speak about Jordan, am I okay to stay here?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Fantastic principal at Memorial School. This is Jordan. I would like to present you Jordan Colbert, first grade teaching candidate for a position at Memorial School. Jordan holds a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Ed and a Master of Science in Teacher Leadership from USM. She has been a long-term and a short-term sub in Gorham in RSU 14, and she also taught math at the University of Southern Maine Learning Commons. Very interesting fact is Jordan was the team captain of the NCAA Division III women's ice hockey team for 3 years.
Wow.
And her former coaches speak very highly of her leadership skills and her team attitude, so we love that. Our interview team at Memorial was very impressed with Jordan's enthusiasm for teaching, her student-focused approach, and her leadership skills and experience. And we are thrilled to welcome her to Memorial School.
Great. Fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts or questions? All right, seeing none, all in favor? All right, fantastic. Thank you guys for coming, we really appreciate it. We are going to go about the rest of our agenda, and we will not be in any way offended should you have something better to do with your time. So we'll leave that up to you. If you'd like to watch us do a meeting, you're welcome to stay, but completely up to you.
It's a nice night. We're going for the sunshine.
That's the test. If they stay, we fire them. Or judgment. That's right. That's terrible. That's just terrible. Okay, let's get through our committee reports. We have another opportunity to report on Monday, but we might as well use this now. Facilities just met.
Yes, the entire meeting was talked about a
proposal for a new pump track. Mike Michu was here presenting his 4 or 5-page proposal on a pump track to be put in a to be determined location. Because of the location he was considering is smack dab in the middle of a proposed bond expansion. That is not going to be the best location. So we do, as a committee, love the idea of this being an addition to our campus, bringing in students and a different crowd of kind of different person that does, like Penny said, all basketball and sports related. This is, bikers and a whole different kind of student, I guess. So we love the idea of having this, but location is going to be really important to determine that first. So we're going to ask Tivitas to go back in and see if they have an area that they would recommend, considering they're going back and looking at some parking stuff anyway, to see where they would foresee this going as a great place to put it, and I'll have to do it and then move it later. But that was the entire meeting, and we didn't make any decisions because we can't just yet, so.
Great. Any questions or thoughts about that? Go ahead, Fran.
I didn't catch what you said it was.
It's a pump track.
Track or truck?
It's track.
Oh, okay.
It's for bikers. It's like hill, sand, it's for people that bike and do jumps and.
It's kind of like a skate park for bikes.
Yeah, they're really cool. I think it would be a great addition to our campus for sure.
Different community of kids.
Different community, that's right.
All right. Finance, I don't think we've met since the last meeting.
I don't think so. Last time we met was May 8th, the majority of the meeting was the budget presentation, so I think everybody's had enough budget presentation for the moment. So that was it.
All right. Personnel.
Sure. So, personnel met, we really had one item on the agenda, and that was a staffing update. But we did add a second item to the agenda, and that was to talk about some templates and things that I had created that we use, make sure that we get them stored in some centralized location. So we added that to the agenda. For the staffing update, Craig gave us an update on staffing that included the Director of Finance position being filled, Transportation Supervisor position waiting to hear back from a prospective candidate. Then Craig presented transition plan options for our current Director of Operations and Finance and the new Director of Operations and Finance. Following that, we had a motion to recommend to the board paying the current Director of Operations and Finance on a per diem basis to provide the closeout of the 23-24 year, as well as audit work as needed, with paying health insurance through July 31st, then pay for periodic days for specific health and training or calendar for the calendar year from August 1st through January 1st, 2024 to 2025 as per diem. So that was the recommendation to be considered by the board. Then for the product storage, the storage of these templates, the ones that we really talked about are the templates for the superintendent evaluation process, making sure that we have those templates available in the future. So I still need to meet with our Director of Technology and SAM to figure out where to put those. I think what was suggested was attaching them to the general school board account. That way it's not tied to any one person on the school board, and we would still have access to them. So that's what we're talking about going forward. That was it for the meeting.
Thank you. Any questions or thoughts about that? Go ahead, Fran.
So, the agenda item for that committee, it said personnel, but it didn't say what personnel or anything like that. If I had known it was about regarding, finance director and all, I would have attended. So I thought that was very unclear. And, I figured personnel was, like we do personnel every meeting here, That's number one. Didn't you
What's
put in
the,
your
I'm
notes
sorry,
that,
I'm not understanding the feedback. Could you say it a different way?
I'm sorry,
I wasn't understanding the feedback. Could you try it?
the agenda item for that night, it just says personnel. It didn't elaborate what they were gonna be discussing,
The agenda item said
Right.
personnel,
right?
Specificity, it was the director
Pardon?
of the nice.
but it says staffing update. Okay, it says staffing update. I was just not understanding. Yes.
Right,
Instead of staffing update, it could have
Yeah.
been more specific.
yeah, I mean, you didn't associate that with being reviewing. As I understand it, they were reviewing the prospective finance director.
No. It was an update to the personnel.
Okay, so there was a misunderstanding because I was given that information afterwards that, you know,
Who gave you that information?
pardon?
Who gave you that
I
information?
have it in writing. And so, the point being
Does
that that was
answer
not
the
clear.
question who? I don't
Pardon?
understand. Who?
The superintendent gave it to me.
Okay.
Okay, do you want me to elaborate on that?
Sure. I'm not understanding the
Okay,
problem.
so, well, the problem is, they were discussing, I guess, the finance director, correct? And hiring the finance director?
Well, there wasn't much discussion. There was the superintendent updating us on the position being filled.
So I'm confused because the information I received later is that, that there was hiring a finance director. And so I would like to have known the background of that person. If I had known it was that in that agenda item, I would have been at the meeting and it would have been updated and we wouldn't even have this discussion.
All right, I think that's
So
a good point. As granular as we can make the agenda is absolutely good.
Right, so that was my first thing, but when I contacted the superintendent for additional information, I'm confused because I think the email said that, they were looking at interviewing and that sort of thing, but evidently that isn't what happened, so I'm a little confused. I'll reread the email, but I'm pretty well confused about what really did take place that night.
Well, let's
Just
answer what really did take place that night.
Yeah,
So again, what happened in the personnel committee, the hiring process was completed before us. It was an update to the personnel committee on what positions were filled, the status of the positions. And that's it. The hiring process was completed by the hiring team, the team of people put together to review the resumes and perform the interviews. The superintendent would probably expand on that a little bit more, but that work was done prior to coming to personnel. So personnel was just an update to the personnel committee on the status.
I did look up the policy afterwards, everything's afterwards, of course, and I realized that there's a hiring team. And so can I ask who is on the hiring team? Who makes that decision?
So
But,
two things. What I do for the staffing update, that I do at every personnel committee meeting, especially since the last few years, there have been shortages of employees. At about 3 o'clock before the personnel committee meeting, I go in and meet with the HR director and create a list of 3 things. Jobs that are filled and on their way to the school board for approval. Jobs that people are being interviewed, but they're not ready to come to the board or be hired. And then 3, we don't have any applicants or suitable applicants for these jobs. So pretty much every personnel meeting for the last 2 or 3 years, that's the update I give the personnel committee. The position for business manager and the position for director of operations and finance and the teaching positions that were here. School board members have been invited to join any of those interview committees. And I think it was at the last school board meeting that Gary and Ms. Meek signed up for those positions. So we screened the applicants. We conducted 4 interviews for those 2 positions. and a unanimous decision was made for a Director of Operations and Finance. And that's what I brought to the Personnel Committee.
Now we have part of your superintendent report is on this position as well. So do we want to save the rest for?
Yeah, but
that
I
point?
saw that.
All right.
Yeah. That cleared up a lot of it. I mean, it was very confusing, because, again, I thought teachers and that type of thing. All right, but this is not something you do every day. You haven't done this for 29 years or something or other, so, for Diane's position.
So you would like to have been done differently?
Well, I think the explanation or elaborated on what that position was being interviewed at. Yeah, because you don't do that every day, and it's a very weird thing that you do, so.
Could people raise their hand if they knew there was an invite to be on the search committee for the Director of Operations? Yeah. Okay, so somehow that information managed to get to 10 of the 11 board members and not you. So I'm going to say that we probably did a good enough job. Is that fair?
Well,
Also,
I think I'm important.
I think the meeting where I
Recognize
volunteered,
it.
I think the meeting where I volunteered to be on it, I think you were absent.
Oh, probably.
That particular board meeting where at the end of it, you asked if anyone was interested, I raised my hand. Might have been the meeting.
Thank you. Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but,
There we have it. All right. Moving on to curriculum.
Excuse me. Curriculum met here 2 weeks ago in this location. We had 2 items on the agenda, 2 voting items, for both voting items. The first was to consider expenditures of Dunn School mathematics program materials for recommendation to the board. Chandra went over the process documents and curriculum materials to purchase. Kind of went over a timeline of how they piloted through the programs. Ms. Mazzilli and Ms. Vector were there to provide their perspective and experience with it on the piloting process. And we had a vote, and it passed 3-0 to 1, with 1 abstention. The second item on the agenda was the health and physical education curriculum, a more broader item. And Chandra briefly outlined the curriculum process and the goals for that program throughout the entire school system. And we voted on that, and the screen just went dark, and that was 4-0. So that was it. So fairly short and sweet.
Great, thank you. Any questions or thoughts about any of that? All right, great. Let's finish up the committee reports and policy.
All right, policy committee met on May 22nd. We discussed and had action on policy KF, community use of school facilities, and the associated procedure. I believe these will come forward to this group next week. We did some updates to that policy, things such as striking the computer labs and use of the kitchen from public accessibility, making sure we had equity in our focus on and access to all curricular activities, as well as working through some updates on a form or a flow chart that would help folks in the community understand which group they fit in, because that can significantly impact the fee. And the recommendation is also to increase those fees to the public use across the board, as they have not been updated in some time, by 20%, which was a recommendation by admin and facilities. So you'll see those in more detail, as well as our passage of JICI co-curricular activities code of conduct around behavior we're looking for students to stay current and active in their co-curricular activities, which are all being on our agenda next week. would allow the school to put that in place for the next school year ahead of fall athletics.
Fantastic. Any questions or thoughts about that? All right. Let's move into my chair report. Oh, Cameron, yes.
So this is our talented young man that's been accepted into the University of Maine Orono Consider Engineering program. Our last student that got accepted there ended up going to Harvard, so we have high.
Whoa.
Make you nervous.
Congratulations.
He just got a theater award for the lighting system.
Also a member of the 9-year-old baseball Green Hornets, coached by myself. So clearly,
Their mentorship.
you play AA baseball with me, good things happen.
Also built sets as a 7-year-old for the Fiddlehead Players Community Theater, so everyone knows Cam.
Everybody does know. He's a good kid. Okay, my chair report. I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but I have spoken at a previous chair report that I was not going to run for another term. And I want to be transparent, and on the very last day, when it turned out there was nobody running for my seat and nobody registered as a write-in candidate, I made the decision to register as a write-in candidate because I just didn't like the idea of the seat going unfilled, and felt like I could give another 3 years. So I'm not advocating anybody vote for me, but if I show up at the first meeting of the next year, I'm not an interloper, but I will be an actual continued member of the board. So I apologize. I really don't like going back on decision making, but I just felt like we're doing important work, and leaving it up to chance gave me a stomachache. So since no one else did it, I did it. But it was at the very last minute. So I made sure no one else was running. If you want this seat, you should run for it. Anyway, that's it. Superintendent report.
Yes. New hires, Melissa Belair, bus driver for transportation. Yeah. John Sujarski, transportation supervisor, district-wide. Carrie Barron, special education IEP district scheduler for the special education department. Resignations, Emma McKechnie, library ed tech, high school. Timothy Steinloss, teacher at the high school. Stephanie Abrams, teacher at the middle school. Amanda Crowell, food service, high school. And I guess that's it. I'm going to do a little, Ms. McKechnie is leaving us to do her master's degree in urban planning at Georgetown University. So I thought that was pretty cool. I asked her what she was doing. I thought she said, well, we know the district next door. And no, that's not what she's doing. She's doing something pretty impressive. So it's nice when we can be a stepping stone for people doing really good things. Transfers, no transfers. Retirements, no retirements. And then Director of Operations and Finance. So we went through the long process so far as to issue a contract. Without getting into any details in an open meeting, there were some serious irregularities in terms of confidentiality, breaching of information. The candidate felt undermined to be able to do the job, so pulled their application. Well, actually, asked if they could have the contract notified. So communications back and forth, contract is nullified. So we're starting from scratch to look for a new director of operations and finance.
So, can I ask you some clarifying questions to see if I understand what happened?
Yes,
So we convened a search committee that comprised yourself. No, you weren't even on the committee.
yeah, I was on,
Were you on the committee for this one?
myself, Shanda, Jeff, Gary, Chris Meek.
So we had our superintendent, our director of curriculum, our principal of our 3-4 pre-K elementary, and 2 of our board members vetted all of these candidates.
Yes,
And then after vetting these candidates, they decided on a candidate.
yes,
And then we offered that candidate a contract, and they accepted.
yes.
And then after that, something happened to make them feel undermined.
Yeah.
Is there a way you could characterize what it is that happened?
There were he was approached by people in his workplace that had information they should not have and had conversations with him that they should not have, which at best unethical.
So a person that works in this person's workplace poisoned the well in some way?
That might be one way to put it.
Is this person known to us? I'll take that as a yes.
So let's put it this way. If I felt I could file a formal complaint with the superintendent, I would. But 95% certain isn't enough for me to make an accusation because there is 5%. But this is an extraordinarily solid person. A person we could have used and a person we could have needed. And his candidacy was poisoned.
Basically, they decided they didn't want to work here.
They felt that there is virtually no way they could have worked here under the circumstances, and felt that deliberate political machinations worked to keep him from being able to take this job, serve the district.
I find that troubling.
I do too, because number one, everything I just said, and number two, we had a replacement for our Director of Operations and Finance on time, on schedule, and now it's May 29 and I'm starting from scratch.
So somebody that works for us,
Somebody that works with this person.
said not some nice things about me.
I'm going as far as I'm going to go with what I can say, because as much as I can, I need to protect people. But what I can say, poison beat out process. And professionally, it's a small state, everyone knows everyone. Teacher we just hired is a former student of mine. I mean, that's the way the state works. And if that reputation gets out about this school district, that this is the way our hiring process can end up,
I guess I'm unclear as to what could be the negative thing that could be said about our school district and the job that they're taking for them to not want to take it. So I guess I'm unclear as to what the negativity could be and why would they choose not to take
think
it.
it's an issue of
Careful
confidentiality.
not to press Craig.
Oh, I know, I'm
Giving
not even
information.
questioning him, and he doesn't have to give me any information. It's just not giving us any information as to why or what could have been said or how to prevent this from happening again. It's
So-
just puzzling.
So I will say that is my one question. Is there something that we can, I'm not gonna ask what, is there something we can do to rectify this now or prevent this from happening?
well, on our end is, I believe everyone here acts in good intentions and we follow our processes and we respect our processes. We respect the work of the personnel committee, we respect the work of the hiring committee, we respect the work of the policy committee. And in terms of people who have nefarious intentions, I don't know what this board can do to correct the moral compass or behaviors of other people.
All right, so we're going to reconvene the hiring committee? All right.
Assuming the same hiring committee, if the board wants to keep using the same hiring committee.
Seems to make sense. You're available?
Yes.
You're available, Gary? All right. Let's move into the executive session portion of our agenda. We'll fight that fire later. Can I hear a motion on entering into an executive session for consultation with legal counsel pursuant to MRSA subsection 4056E?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor? All right, so we need to shut off the live stream and clear the room.